back in Romania. This country gives me energy, it gives me excitement, not just because I see you, but obviously we have a phenomenal team here. I see a country with so many great assets going for it. I could speak probably half an hour just about that, whether it's broadband speeds, STEM, education, opportunity in the market. I mean, there's so much, you have so much going for you as a country. And I truly believe that we are at the beginning of a fantastic revolution here when it comes to the usage of artificial intelligence in Romania. And I believe that the use of artificial intelligence really is one of the key opportunities we have, once in a lifetime opportunities, to what I would call reset the normal world order of countries. I believe that by using this type of technology, we have a chance to reposition Romania and reset its place in the normal economic world order. I know that sounds very ambitious, but I truly believe that to be the case. So today we're going to be talking about what we've observed, not just in Romania, but also outside, and how to go capture these opportunities. I want to be reasonably quick here in terms of the market opportunity. It's clear that the numbers are huge. Depending on what study you read, you know, the numbers in itself already should convince us that there's something we should be looking at. This is the world opportunity, which I've asked to be translated in lay, just to impress you. Now, the key question obviously is, how much of that can you capture in Romania? And if you look at, if you look at this next slide, you'll see that this is what McKinsey has actually quantified as the opportunity for Romania of the digital transformation. Now, these are obviously tremendously big numbers. I believe that actually this should not even be a limit. I believe that if Romania does a faster, more committed job on capturing these opportunities, you should be able to capture a bigger share of that 17 trillion lei that we had on the previous slide. So 20% of Romanian businesses, according to IDC, have started building this digital plan and this digital journey. There is there's a few ifs, and we'll get to some of the ifs later in the presentation, but it's clear that there is traction, there is an understanding, and there is an opportunity. And combining these three, I think, should be the key. Now, as with any real transformation, the hard part is we can't just stop and say, okay, let's stop our day-to-day activities and let's make plans for tomorrow. This is literally about building the plane while we're flying it. And so, if you want to fly, you must take off first. And so you have to start somewhere. And I thought this little movie was good inspiration, because ultimately these two brothers decided to try something which was seemingly impossible. Many before them had failed, many before them had died, in fact, trying. And so, if you think about what that takes, it takes it's like tech innovation is about trying to do things very different, or actually doing different things. And so, I would argue that the place in which we stand today, where the technology is available, but it's not being fully leveraged yet in our day-to-day lives, in our business lives, that I think is the opportunity, and the question is, how do you get started? When I came up with this, one of your compatriots from our team also pointed me to one of your very own aeronautic, pioneers or inventors, a gentleman called Vaciu, who basically was the first man to fly a metal plane. Now, he's from Romania. I can only imagine what people must have thought when this gentleman was suggesting to fly a plane made out of metal, which is, at the time would have been considered probably the heaviest alloy that was available. Still, today all we fly are metal planes. And so I think that gives you a nice metaphor as to the power and the opportunity of following through and believing in what you stand for. And I think the same goes for this AI revolution. We see the opportunity, and now we have a chance to really, truly follow through. There's so many beautiful examples that we have when we talk about artificial intelligence. And honestly, one of the hardest parts when I travel around our region, I have the honor and the privilege of covering 33 countries, is to pick the nicest ones. And so the ones that I chose here are the ones that, to me, speak to not just the economical impact, but also the societal impact of artificial intelligence. This first one is about one of the agencies in your government, AFIR. And essentially what they did is they basically used the technologies that were available to help farmers get faster access to EU money, and then to be able to actually also follow through on the actual execution of the EU funding that came with that. What used to take 10 days to request before is now being done in 10 minutes. And the agency simply has much better tools now to actually follow through, be able to answer, be able to help these farmers who, let's be honest, their main specialty is not to sit behind the PC or behind the phone and ask questions. They have a real job. And so being able to help them out with even just if you look at the submissions from 10 days to 10 minutes, is the kind of potential that this technology can bring. 100,000 farmers in Romania now get help through this. So hard to ignore it, but I think it's a beautiful example because essentially, the benefits are actually almost exponential if you think about it, both for the farmers, for the agency, and obviously, ultimately for the rest of the population. The next one is probably, even a little bit more emotional. This organization leverages AI technology based on a very simple test. They can detect speech deficiency. And based on those speech deficiencies, Team Logo can actually propose customized training for the children who have speech impediments. That, I think, ladies and gentlemen, is also, from a societal point of view, what this technology can enable. It's a fantastic example, and it's part of a broader program which we support financially. We have a program called AI for Good at Microsoft, which is a over $100 million 5-year commitment. And so this one is one of these projects which was submitted because it obviously has a societal benefit. And it talks about AI for accessibilities, in which we're trying to help organizations who use AI to build solutions for people with disabilities or other inclusive projects. And so this one is a beautiful one. I wrote a LinkedIn post about it. I'm hugely inspired by what this technology can do and can enable, where we take, in this case, speech recognition and can identify patterns and then transform that into training for these children to give them a better future in the world. There's also economical benefits, obviously, and the economical benefits, I wanted to share with you an example from one of your neighbors. Żabka, as you may be familiar with, is the largest Polish retailer. They have, I think, 5,500 stores. And they have decided to fully embrace the power of artificial intelligence throughout the life cycle, if you will, of the customer. They use it to do store management. They have cameras to basically detect anything which goes on in the store. They have this fantastic, this is the greatest thing to do for demos, is where they show you how they do checkout. We've all stood in line at checkout at a retailer, either with our hands full or with a little basket or with a trolley. The solution that we have built with them is basically a solution in which you throw everything on a table, a camera takes a snapshot, and immediately everything is checked out. So this type of technology can obviously be applied in a retailer, but can obviously also be applied across many other areas. And it's particularly exciting to see that this retailer would basically have come to us and said, look, I'm going to need the best technologies because I believe in physical retail. This is my core business, and I want to make sure that I bring it to the digital age. And I want to work with a partner whom I know is going to be a provider of technology and is not going to compete with me. And so, for the last 18 months, we've been working hand in hand with them, but not just with Microsoft. We've also brought in a number of ISVs, a number of Polish and other CEE technology providers who have built on our platform, whom we have introduced to Żabka, and are now basically continuing to show them what this technology can mean for the future. Smart shelves, the system monitors expiration dates of foods to turn them into promotions. I mean, we're using the whole spectrum of artificial intelligence in this particular scenario. So if hopefully by now you're convinced, if not, I really didn't do a good job of the opportunity. If by now you're convinced, I think then the question is, how do we now turn that into a wave? And I like this next metaphor here is, how do you ride the wave? Even though it might look scary, we all agree it's powerful. And so I'm not a big surfer, but I like watching it. And I think this is about embracing the power, learning to ride the wave. You can't fight the wave, it's too powerful. And if you ignore it, you can have a bad surprise. So the question really is, how would you learn to ride it? And if you see that, you look at the numbers, there's a willingness to serve. So I think that is fantastic. What we need now is more than technology. And the next component I wanted to talk to you about is really not about the technology, it's about us. It's about the people who are going to be doing this, and it's about the audiences which we're going to be serving. And so, one of the key dependencies of this revolution is going to be us. And so, we strongly believe that the only way for us to truly be able to capture this opportunity of artificial intelligence for the benefit of the digital transformation of your country, of your economy, of your business model, is to upskill people. Look at these numbers, where 90% of the leaders say, yes, we are committed, we see the benefits of digital, yet only 3.5% of employees working for their companies today are digitally equipped. We don't see that as a threat, we see it as an opportunity. We see it as an opportunity which comes with a commitment, and that commitment is to make sure that we spend as much time and energy as we can on actually upskilling. And that's going to require upskilling our partners, it's going to require upskilling all the way to your citizens. This is, I believe, also an area in which Romania has an advantage over many of its neighbors due to your educational system. And it's one that I believe you should truly embrace. So that upskilling for us is a combination of a number of programs. This year we're going to be spending several weeks of training several hundreds of people like yourselves, people who work with us as our partners, and basically try to get into the basics of what this artificial intelligence opportunity could mean, including all facets related to it, and I'll come to that in a second. We also have some freely available material which you could leverage online. One is the AI Business School, which is literally a business school class online, which was developed with an internationally reputed business school, which you can take online. I was particularly proud when I saw the first numbers coming out globally of the use of the AI Business School program. If you realize that Microsoft around the world has 14 areas, we have organized ourselves in 14 separate areas. Microsoft Central and Eastern Europe is one of those areas, which I had the privilege of of leading. The number and the usage of that AI business school for us in CE was the second worldwide in terms of people consulting it. That tells you a little bit about the appetite and the hunger that people with the right education are having to basically get that content and to upskill themselves. Of course, now all the other areas are putting more focus on it. Maybe it's because we spoke about it first. But I want to make sure that you see the opportunity of those types of programs. We also have Microsoft Learn initiatives, and of course, we'll be doing in-person sessions as well. We believe that upskilling is one of the core tenets of landing this AI revolution. And it brings me to an event of the last couple of weeks. We obviously had the tremendous pleasure of hosting here in Bucharest with yourselves Brad Smith, who is our president at Microsoft. He was here a couple of weeks ago. You might have seen him, or you might have caught him on the news. And his commitment to making sure that we turn AI into what we call augmenting human capability, rather than looking at the risks only, which is, replacing jobs, which is what it's commonly sometimes referred to. We see it again as an opportunity. Another risk that obviously exists with artificial intelligence is abuse. And frankly, if you read the newspapers, I think we've had our fair share of what I would call probably disappointing use of technology. And so at Microsoft, we believe that we should start by regulating what we do and how we do it. And so we've developed a vision for ethical AI. It's in constant flux. Even just yesterday, I saw an internal memo on how we're continuing to upgrade it, how we're now making it even more real, how we're organizing ourselves to make sure that we continue to up-level our game. But these are some of the core principles we believe not only we should abide by, but we're trying to also convince all of our industry friends and colleagues to abide by. They can obviously develop their own, but we believe that if we don't step up, we are going to potentially engage in something which we want to avoid. And so leading with responsibility, leading with ethical principles and integrity around this are absolutely crucial. I don't have time to go into all of them, but we have plenty of material available for this. Ultimately, this is about building trust. It's about building trust for a technology which, to some of you, maybe not, but to the majority of the population, may come across as a black box. And that, I think, is what we need to avoid. We need to make sure that we help people understand how this technology works so that they have the trust to actually use it and leverage the benefits. I believe that by applying these principles, that by leaning into this type of technology, there's a real opportunity to leapfrog, to change the normal ranking, the normal standing order. And if you don't believe me, just take this gentleman's story as an example. One of the proudest examples that I think you should have in terms of a technology breakthrough. I also want to thank them because they're obviously a partner to this conference as well, together with many others, whom I want to explicitly thank for their support. But Dan Levines's story proves what is possible. And I believe that whilst this is obviously possible as a company, this is also possible as a country. And I would want to make sure that you all share that same aspiration. Because ultimately, I think we're in a once-in-a-lifetime moment where we either fully embrace this and improve our standing in the world economically, or we let it slip and then we will probably be where we were before. Some countries are trying to proactively embrace this to make sure that they can actually leapfrog. And I'm sure you're familiar with several of them. So, long story short, it is a little bit of a race to be the first to adopt artificial intelligence. To do it well, to do it with integrity, and obviously also to make sure that it is inclusive and that everyone, even the non-digital savvy today, that everyone can embrace and can leverage that opportunity. And so, for this last slide, I thought, what better example do we have here than a Romanian who basically is so famous that people probably associate the name of your country with her. There's many other examples, whether they're current tennis players or former middle distance runners, Simona Halep, or Gabriela or Nadia Comaneci. They have proven in a different area that there is a way to transcend the limitations and the boundaries of your country by truly excelling. I believe that we can add Daniel Dines to that list, and I wish for this country, I wish for all of you to be part of that transformation and to truly embrace the opportunity that lies in front of you. What I can commit to on behalf of Microsoft is to continue to be your partner, your guide, to continue to invest in Romania, to continue to invest in you, and to help you realize the aspirations and ambitions you strive for. I wish you all the best, and I'll be back soon. Thank you very much.